our intent really was to talk about elevated tower relocation feasibility report, and that report today will be somewhat oral. We'll have that recorded so that we can look at that. But as you're all very well aware, Public Works has been working to develop final bid packages for our Wells 3 elevated tower replacement project. A lot of people refer to it as the water tower. But as part of that project development, we've had a city working group that have been helping us look at potential replacement properties for anticipated impacts to the South Capitol Park location where the tower had been proposed to go. Maybe as I have. But we have evaluated the south lot, and we have a potential area to look at the water tower that was brought forward and talked a little bit about. So that's the side of the south parking lot that's closest to Park Avenue and the alley bordering the southern property line for the parking lot. And one of the reasons that was really looked at favorably from I believe from the library board and staff was that we would be able to construct that and actually have minimal impact to parking considerations, the number of stalls that existed there. And hopefully, if we looked at redesigning that parking lot, we could actually pick up some stalls, and that would be the best case scenario. And so really the results of all of our evaluations at this point have determined that relocating the elevated tower from the park to the library south parking lot is a viable siting solution. And this new location also lends to a decrease in water line installation, which approaches another $100,000 in potential cost savings, as we anticipate much of this water line would be installed in rock, which is probably our most expensive type of construction when we deal with water work. And then lastly, the adverse impacts to traffic on Capitol Avenue would also be diminished with this potential site change. So in light of these, and as the mayor indicated, Public Works has prepared an agenda item for consideration this coming Thursday at council meeting for the elevated tower. The action item has three parts and requests: one, approval of the change of location for the elevated tower from South Capitol Park to the library south parking lot; two, approval of addendum 3 to the task order with Murray Smith and Associates that I just described; and lastly, authorization for city staff to take the steps necessary to implement this change in location. I would really be remiss if I didn't thank the library board for their consideration, and also in particular Chairperson Mary Lund and Library Director Robert Wright for their consideration. I appreciated them actually just scheduling to chat with us, let alone their consideration and approval of that. And in addition to that, there have been a number of city staff members that have been working very diligently to help find replacement project or properties associated with the park.
But there's an element of respect. The library paid for the resurfacing of that parking lot, and then, relatively speaking, 15 minutes later, the city came along and said, we need to relocate our tower. And to just rip up a parking lot that they just paid for seemed difficult to approach. And so anyway, that's part of the reason why the library board's cooperation was so appreciated. Okay. Thank you, and I hope that sorry. That everybody who has worked their tails off in one way or another to get their voices heard and to do good work and to make good things happen in a community that they're so much passionate about. I hope that there's some sense of, some sense of satisfaction, or at least, maybe satisfaction. I can't hope that anybody's going to be gleeful. But I hope that Pareto optimally, people are better off than they were, and nobody's worse off than with the previous plan that might be in place. So let's hope that Thursday night takes us where we need to go. But thank you to you and to your staff. They've been through a lot. And this has been a many multi-year process. And so I'm hoping that Thursday is a good day. But thank you so much for your questions and your patience and everybody's time.